Am I the a-hole for not bringing my kids to see my ex-wife during my time with them? My ex-wife Lisa, 41, and I, 43, divorced last summer. We share 2 kids, 10 and 7. My wife currently has primary custody of them, and I get them 2 weekends a month with extra time during summer and holidays. I have been working very hard to change our custody agreement in order to get more time with the kids. But the main hurdle is that I live too far away from their school, so I'm looking to move closer, but that takes time. Past weekend, I had the kids and took them to visit my parents since they live on a lake. Oh, I hope they live in a house though as well, not just on a lake.
Imagine they
actually live on the lake.
Floating bed.
What, on Lilos or something? We spent Saturday morning on the boat fishing and tubbing or tubing. I don't know if you know what that is, if you want to put that in the comments, because I have no idea what that is. But they were having a blast anyhow. When we were back at the house getting ready for dinner, Lisa sent me a text asking if we could talk, so I gave her a call. She said that she was having a rough day and feeling emotional and alone. She asked if she could talk to the kids for a bit, and I agreed. After a few minutes, the kids gave me my phone back because Lisa wanted to talk more. She asked if I would be willing to bring the kids back to her for the rest of the weekend because she missed them and wanted to be around them. I told her no, because this is my time with them. I asked her what was going on because she doesn't usually contact me when I have the kids, except to arrange drop-off. She kind of tiptoed around it a bit, but eventually said that she had a date that evening, but he ghosted her and she's feeling really emotional about it. I took every ounce of self-control I had to not laugh. She said that she had already asked the kids about it and they said they were fine with it. I told her that is some manipulative BS and that I'm not going to sacrifice my limited time with the kids just because she got stood up. I reminded her that she has the kids much more often than I do and I'm going to keep them every single second that our custody agreement allows. She told me that I was being a jerk and that if the kids want to go back to her, then I should let them. I told her that the kids don't get to make that decision and I'll be keeping them until our agreed drop-off on Monday, and ended the call. She sent a few texts later that night and during Sunday basically calling me an a-hole, but I never responded. I figured the text might come in handy when I tried to change the custody agreement. The kids and I spent a lot more time on the lake on Sunday and then brought them back to Lisa on Monday. She made a comment about how much she missed them and how she wished she could have seen them sooner while giving me a weird look. I didn't respond because it's not worth the fight. I understand feeling emotional about being stood up, but none of that is my fault. And the way she went about it felt very underhanded and manipulative.
Yeah, that's how parental alienation begins. No, he's not the arsehole. She needs to learn to deal with her emotions on her own and stop using her children as an emotional lean-on, you know. It's not fair to the children, actually, because what she's doing here, she's not just punishing him, she's punishing her children. Taking time away from children, using her children, this is emotional sort of manipulation. And I can see this developing into something worse as time goes on. She's taking more and more time away from him. This is allocated time for him and his children. Doesn't get to see his kids that much, by the sounds of things. So that's unfair. She's an adult, grown adult. She needs to learn to deal with her emotions on her own. It'd be different if he was not a good dad and wasn't there, barely there. And, you know, but in this situation, he's clearly a good dad and, like, doesn't get that much time with his kids, wants more time. She's actively trying to take that way. Yeah, she needs to learn to deal with her emotions without having to bring her children into this.
Kind of the first comment is... someone's commented saying, my issue is that she's putting it on the kids to be emotional support humans. And that was kind of a bit my first thought about it, is that she is using it. And you've got to bear in mind what the kids were like 7 and 8 or something. She is using them as a crutch, an emotional crutch. And she's
it's not fair on them.
To lean on other adults. I mean, maybe even try and, I know it'd be difficult to talk about new relationships with your ex or whatever, but maybe they should support each other a little bit more as adults. You know, maybe he
100%.
could have maybe what he could have done, because he said it made him laugh that her date had stood her up. So that shows some kind of jealousy and a bit
I
of,
don't like that bit.
that's a bit malicious. I
Didn't
find
like that
that a
bit.
bit malicious, really. And how he could have got away with this or got over this is he could have given her a bit more emotional support. And that way, like, just reassured her and, like, I'm not bringing it, I do, you know, appreciate and that you're feeling sad, and been sympathetic to her, because him saying that sounds like he wasn't being very sympathetic to her. And I know
Maybe a bit of jealousy going on,
yeah, maybe that's not his place, but it would have diffused the situation.
Bit
I
toxic,
think.
yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So I don't think he's the a-hole for not returning the children, but he was a bit of an a-hole for the way he dealt with it.